Hey guys, what's up? Richard Cooper here, founder and CEO of Total Debt Freedom. We're going to have a little real talk here about a comment that I received on one of the ads that we run on social media. I printed it up here, blacked out the lady's last name, but we're going to call this the Dear Janice video. And always, whenever you do something different in life, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be judgmental or critical of the choices that you make, especially when your behavior changes dramatically. In this message she wrote, and this is something that I've seen time and time again, so I want to address this general level of thinking and judgment from people. She goes in response to the ad. The ad basically said, we can reduce your debt somewhere between 50 to 80% and get you out of debt within 4 or 5 years, and you can graduate with a better credit rating than what you had on the day you started. So that's the general offer and what we do here. She goes, yeah, this is great. Not. Why do you encourage people not to pay their debts? Well, in fact, we're encouraging people to pay their debts with our program, because what we do is we actually offer a way for people to get out of debt and get on clear financial ground, as opposed to completely drowning in debt and not putting a dent in the credit card debts they may owe. Our program's so effective that they get out of debt in less than 4 to 5 years, and again, they graduate with a credit rating that's considerably better than what they had on the day they started the program, and they end up paying far less than what they owed. So this negotiation approach that we use here to settle credit card debt is something that works very, very well. Then she goes on to say, they're the ones who bought the stuff, so why shouldn't they pay for it like the rest of us? Okay, excellent point. They are, in fact, paying for it. In fact, the rest of us, as she would imply, I guess she's meaning like the rest of Canadians or the rest of us out there. Well, most Canadians have credit card debt, if I'm being honest with you. If you look at the media and the news, you keep hearing all of these reports and stats from the government and from financial institutions talking about the debt service ratio going up in Canada. It's at critical levels. They're not sure how they're going to increase interest rates or where things are going to go if interest rates do increase. We're in a very dire situation in Canada. The sort of thing that we do is we take a new approach to getting people out of debt. Look, if what we did not work, we wouldn't have an accredited status with the Better Business Bureau. Okay, this is what we do. We're rated A+ with them. We have an excellent reputation out there. We've graduated thousands and thousands of clients through our program. They've become raving fans based on their experience with us, and settled over $50 to $60 million worth of debt at my last count. It's a very, very effective way to deal with your credit card debt and get on clear financial footing. So, Janice, judging people for actually changing their behavior and wanting to get out of debt, I completely disagree with your approach. You go on to say, then we end up paying for their stuff when they declare bankruptcy. Well, first of all, it's not a bankruptcy or a consumer proposal that we do here. We are actually an informal process of negotiating, and because we're using legal professionals to do that sort of stuff, it's highly effective, and we only work for you, unlike trustees in bankruptcy and consumer proposal, because they're in fact court-appointed agents to the creditors. Nonprofit credit counselors, for example, about 70% of their funding comes from the banks and credit card companies. So you don't pay for anybody's debt when somebody goes bankrupt or they're insolvent. The only person that pays is the insolvent individual. Now, our office is here in Whitby. We actually have a large GM plant not far away in Oshawa, and the residents of Oshawa had seen their property taxes go up to pay for the bailout that the government put in place for the manufacturers of automobiles. And the funny thing is the General Motors plant is slowly winding down, so it's not like that bailout even had any effect. You're not like anybody that would be paying out the bailout for General Motors, for example. You have no involvement. There's no impact on your personal ability to earn money, make money, buy consumer goods or anything like that if somebody enters into a debt negotiation program. In fact, it has zero influence on your life whatsoever. Then we end up then she goes on to say, people need to be responsible for their own actions and not weasel their way out of debt they incurred themselves. Okay, let's talk about that. Nobody ever gets up in the morning and says, right, I'm just not going to pay my bills and I'm going to rip off the credit card companies. That's not the way it works. We don't enroll people into this type of program. We're completely ethical, and our T's are crossed and I's are dotted. The people that we take on board as a client are those that might have made some bad choices in life. Maybe they tried to start up a business and it flopped. Maybe they bought a franchise and it didn't work out. Maybe they had a spouse leave them and suffered a separation or divorce. Maybe they lost hours. Maybe they became injured and were unable to work. There's any number of reasons why somebody might enter in our program, but it is never, ever because they intended to not pay their bills. It's because they're looking for help. And you are entitled to help, just like, you know, the large banks in the US and the automobile companies got their bailouts. You're entitled to help to get out of credit card debt. The program's completely legal and ethical, and it saves people an enormous amount of money and sets them on their first financial feet again, so they get off with a clean start. It's like a brand new, fresh start. I hope that settles some of those queries that I see from time to time on our Facebook comments, and I know people think about but may not write them. But dear Janice, thank you for writing that story. I hope that shed some light for you and for anybody else watching this video. Thanks for checking it out. If there's somebody that needs to see it, please share it with them. Give it a thumbs up, of course, and leave a comment below to let me know what you think. Am I completely off, or do you agree with Janice here? What are your thoughts? Talk to you guys later. Bye.